Good afternoon, Year 2, or good morning if that's when you're doing your computing lesson today. I'm really pleased that we're able to offer you the computing this term, and what's also quite nice is that it's going to be mixed with some art. So you're going to be learning today about the Impressionist art movement, and I'm going to take you through a very short PowerPoint before we get started on the work that we're going to be doing on Purple Mash. So hopefully you've got your Purple Mash login details. If you haven't, obviously, you can get in touch with us at info@arkfranklinprimary.org, or you can let your teacher know during one of the briefings in the morning or in the afternoon. So please don't sit and struggle and wait. Please do get in contact with us if you need your login details for Purple Mash. That is exactly why we are here. So with that in mind, I'm going to take you straight through to the PowerPoint so that you can get going and you can get started on your project today. I'm just going to share my screen with you now. So, Impressionist art. Impressionist art, and we're going to be looking today at a movement that started in Paris in the 1860s, and the artist attempted to capture a kind of moment in time, so almost like taking a photograph. And this was relatively new and kind of as a reaction to the fact that cameras had started to be invented and were becoming more popular. To start with, it wasn't actually a very popular way of creating a picture, and traditional artists said that Impressionist painters couldn't paint. They said that they didn't use lines and they really struggled with detail. However, gradually, by the end of the 1880s, Impressionism was accepted, and nowadays we see Impressionist paintings everywhere, just like the one that you can see on this screen at the moment. So how did they paint? Well, they did short, thick strokes of paint, and they were used quickly to capture the subject rather than the detail. The colours were mixed as little as possible, and this created a vibrant surface, which meant it was really bright. In pure Impressionism, the use of black paint was avoided. So that's a tip for you. What are we going to be avoiding? You got it. We're going to be avoiding black paint today when we do our computing paint work. And finally, the wet paint was layered, okay? So rather than spending lots of time mixing colours and making new colours, mixing the primary or secondary or even tertiary colours together, they actually just slightly layered over the different colours, similar to the movement we looked at in pointillism last term, where we drew our dots close together with other colours when we wanted to mix the colours by overlapping them. So who were they? The most famous were Claude Monet, Pierre-Auguste Renoir, Berthe Morisot. And as you can see in each of the pictures, there are long strokes down each image for each line of colour. So let's have another look. You can see the long strokes of colour. And what else do they have in common? What can you see that's in common between all of these pictures? That's right, they are all paintings from scenes of outside. Let's move on to Purple Mash now and create our very own painting in the style of Claude Monet, Pierre-Auguste Renoir and Berthe Morisot. I can't wait to see your work when you've finished it. So when you open Purple Mash and you're on the home page, you need to go to the search browser, which is just here, and you need to type in to paint a picture. You may like to pause the screen now whilst you open up to paint a picture on your own computer or iPad, whatever device you're using. Then you need to click on to paint a picture and then launch app. You will then have a selection of options to choose from, and today we are creating work in the style of Impressionism. So select Impressionism and then click on OK. Now you can see down the side here, the paints have already been squeezed out for you, and you need to choose which colour you want to use and how you're going to create your own picture. Remembering that this style of artwork tends to be of pictures of scenes from outside. So you may like to draw a tree or a lake or a field or some flowers. I'm going to start by drawing a sunset. So I'm going to start with some green grass. I'm dragging it across. You can see that I've got some green grass, and I want a slightly darker colour now, some more to add to my green grass. You can see I can add and build it up by going back over it. Great. And I'm going to change colour again. I'm going to take away a little bit of the water to make mine a little bit darker. You can also see that you can also change the thickness of your brush. I'm quite happy with that for my grass now. Now I want to create a sunset. So I know that when I mix my colours, they're just going to be overlapped. So I'm going to start with a nice light blue sky. But on my picture, I want to include a sunset. So I'm going to draw in a sunset. And it's a nice big sun that's setting down on the sky. It's got lots of light beaming off it, and then it's going to be brighter. Oh, that's not brighter. If I make a mistake, all I need to do is click on the rubber, and I can rub out and make a correction to my work if I'm not happy with it. So check I've got the colour I want this time. I'm going to add into my sunset, and I'm going to make it darker and darker as it gets towards the horizon. There we go, that's my sunset. I'm just going to add a little bit more grass in because I've got some white patches that I don't really want on my picture, and then fill in a bit more of the sky with a slightly different colour blue, just to make sure I haven't really left any gaps. And again, I can just merge it. There we go. Lovely. When I'm finished, I might want to give it a title. If I do, I just click in the bottom left-hand corner. Bye. Make my text box. Pop my text box in just down here. Now I've signed it. Once I've finished and I'm happy with my work, I click on the 3 white lines in the top left-hand corner, and then I click on save. And I need to decide where I want to save my work. I can either share it in my work folder, or I can share it in the class folder. I'm going to share this in the class folder so that you can have a look at it if you want to. And I'm going to call it Miss Baldwin. And I'm going to put the date, and today's date is the 7/1/20. And then I'll be able to have a look at some of your work, and I'm going to press save, and that's now saved into the folder. Okay. You can create several pictures if you want to. You might like to think about what you're going to be creating images of. You could have done trees, flowers, anything outside with those long brush strokes of colour. I can't wait to see your work. So I'm going to exit and then log out of Purple Mash.